Well, it's just gone 9 o'clock Central African time. This is BTV News, broadcasting live from the nation's capital. I'm Olibide Samoka. Let's take a look at stories making headlines. Botswana and the Bahamas will work in unison to resolve the similar challenges both countries face. Funeral preparations for victims of the ZCC St. Engena's bus crash in Limpopo, South Africa, progressing well. And in sport, Botswana Football League investigates complaints by Muchudi Center Chiefs against the First Division South League Committee. Dr. Taposa is interpreting in sign language. Welcome and thank you for joining us. Now, in our first story, President Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi has concluded the Boston leg of his U.S. working visit and began his New York round this morning. In Boston, he gave a keynote address at the Legatum Center for Development and Entrepreneurship Conference, where he highlighted Botswana's fast-paced investment into building innovators and business-minded citizenry that could positively impact the country's GDP. He also shared investment opportunities available in Botswana in the innovation value chain. The president and his delegation were apprised on the latest innovation projects undertaken by some individuals at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, which are in different stages. The delegation interacted with the leaders of MIT Media Lab, MIT Sandbox and Material Impact in sessions that inspired new hope for solutions to the challenges facing humanity. This Boston leg was led by the Ministry of Entrepreneurship, which, according to Permanent Secretary Kabelo Ibining, was very successful.
A memorandum of understanding has been signed between the Botswana government, represented by the Ministry of Entrepreneurship, and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, for the purpose of making sure that we harness as much as we can from those people that have already, done the work. The idea of collaborating in the manner that we have is to make sure that we do not only support our youth, we do not only support our universities, but enable people who can come in with ideas that work, amplify those ideas, spread them, and have them exported. So with MIT coming in, we'll have an opportunity to have links that go directly to the Botswana International University of Science and Technology, the University of Botswana, Botswana University of Buan, so that they can start not only teaching, but going into areas of research and development as a means of applying again ideas that work.
President Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi has emphasized the similar obstacles confronting Botswana and Bahamas, prompting their alliance to jointly confront these challenges and uphold peace. The president was speaking today during the Global Citizens Now Summit in New York.
One of the advantages of also these two countries getting together, small as it might be, is that it's easiest to move the needle. We're pretty well-governed countries. When things work in the Bahamas, things work in Botswana. So as we tessellate, we hope for global impact in the example that we set. And we both have a recent past where we were blacklisted by those who blacklist countries. And we've resolved, the two of us, never to get back to that. And so we exchange notes through our regulatory institutions, through our financial sector and our ministries, in making sure that we never regress and rather set the example for everybody else. So the Prime Minister has shared in the MOU those areas we want to collaborate on. And besides, we're both nations committed to peace. And so we expand this peace dividend and want to show this example to the world.
And now we cross over to New York, where BTV News senior reporter Kifile Mokgweetsi is on standby to give us the latest on President Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi's working visit to the United Nations. Kifile, I welcome you back again. And now, what is the latest thus far?
Thank you, Samoka. Indeed, that clip was summarizing His Excellency's engagements this morning at the Global Citizen Now Summit. The statement that you just made speaks to some of the issues that he did speak about. He was on a panel this morning that was moderated by the renowned Forbes Randall Lane. You will know that he's coming to Botswana for the Forbes Summit Botswana session that begins next week in Botswana. So he was moderating that conversation, and he was able to articulate or drive it in such a way that he allows the president of Botswana to express himself, to express the direction in which this country, Botswana, wants to go. He spoke to the issues of entrepreneurship. He spoke to the issues of tourism. I mean, that is how he sort of drove that conversation. The president of Botswana, Ramasisi, was sharing the platform with the Prime Minister of Bahamas, Philip Davis, who was in Botswana just about a month ago. The two leaders were on that platform to showcase the importance of collaboration, basically at individual level, in business partnerships, collaborations. Now, when they were on that platform, it was an epitome of collaboration shown to the young people of the world who were in that platform between nation states. They spoke to the issues of bilateral agreements that they have between Botswana and Bahamas. These are in the areas of health, in the areas of tourism, and many others that were signed or spoken to when the Bahamas Prime Minister came for a state visit in Botswana last month. So what is really coming out of these meetings, Samoka, from Boston to here in New York, is a central theme that speaks to entrepreneurship, to innovation and collaboration. It is really the highlight or the theme of President Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi here in America, because he will extend the same thing when he travels to Bahamas in the coming days for the U.S. Business Africa Summit.
What would you say has been the highlight for you in these 3 days as it stands?
I think the highlight has been the articulation of issues, the way that the themes of the meeting here have really come out clear. Again, I want to place an emphasis on the messaging around entrepreneurship, collaboration, and innovation. This is what President Masisi spoke to. He was able to articulate this very well, to sell the opportunities that are there in the spaces of innovation in the country, and also to court investors in this area. He will once again continue to do that when he gets to Dallas, where Botswana and several other African countries will interact with the American business community, again looking for opportunities, again looking for partnerships in the area of business.
Right.
So that's what really stood out for me.
Right. As we wrap up this conversation, the visit is 10 days. It's only been 3 days. What should we expect from the rest of today and tomorrow, and perhaps the remaining days?
I think in the next 2 days, the president and his delegation will have an opportunity to reflect on what they have done in the last 3 days. Remember, they met with investors, they met with innovators. Some of them were really sort of selling ideas that have the potential to bring solutions to some of the problems that Botswana faces. So we hope that, in the next 3 days, that's what they will do, reflect and look at what further conversations can be opened up when Botswana, or he returns to Botswana with his delegation for follow-up. And then, he will then continue to go to Dallas to attend the U.S. Business Africa Summit. I just want to say this, I know I've been saying it in the last 3 days, that the U.S. Business Africa Summit is a concept or something that is very familiar to Botswana, because last year we hosted that summit. Botswana had the opportunity to take part in that platform across the value chain of mice. You know that it was hosted in Tlokweni. Botswana was able to host it very successfully. There were many other stakeholders who benefited from the value chain of being a host of such a big summit. So I just want to sort of put that emphasis that what will happen in Dallas is what Botswana are familiar with. I know the BITC is taking a delegation of Botswana entrepreneurs and the business community to also showcase the opportunities that are in Botswana and to as well sell their products.
All right, thank you, Kifile. That is BTV senior reporter Kifile Makhotsane in the U.S. giving us an update of the president's visit in the U.S. Now, moving on, the Minister of Communications, Knowledge and Technology and Cisco International Company signed a Memorandum of Understanding in Gaborone on Tuesday. The memorandum is aimed at identifying opportunities that can assist Botswana in expediting its digital transformation plan. Minister of Communication, Knowledge and Technology, Thulagano Segokgo, applauded the initiative, emphasizing its role in bolstering Botswana's long-term strategy of transitioning to a high-income economy by 2036. Amagala Maratlegi with more.
Botswana is on an expedition to transition to a knowledge-based economy through the National Vision 2036. The use of innovation, research and technology could be instrumental in attaining this ambition. Cisco, an international leading network company from America, is set to help Botswana realize this by training the local citizens in attaining this.
Here last year, and we met His Excellency, and we unpacked the country digital plans of Botswana. We had a workshop with the team where we focused on priority projects as we as Cisco will come into Botswana and bring the power of Cisco in the form of technology, in the form of financial resources, to build the digital strategy in the landscape of Botswana. I think we're really looking forward to it. We are looking to start as early as Monday already with the planning on the first project.
The government of the United States has been very, very active in facilitating training for Botswana, sending them to the United States to get world-class training in any kind of IT activities. And so we think that that's been an important contributor. In addition to that, you'll recall that last year at the US-Africa Business Summit that happened here in Gaborone in July, we announced a $1 million grant to Bofinet to help to expand the internet, to push it out to the most remote areas.
Minister Thuleganyo Sekgoga applauded the gesture, saying it will help Botswana strengthen its strategy, which supports the goal of transforming its economy from upper middle to a high income status by 2036.
The agreement that we signed, we're facilitating the expansion of our digital infrastructure for Bofinet. But I think those that will recall, a few weeks, if not 2 weeks ago, we had a delegation again from France that came through, and we met with them at the Innovation Hub. And more specifically, again, speaking to the same matter and issue around creating an innovation ecosystem in Botswana. So you can see that the principal agenda, the intent of His Excellency to see to it that Botswana drives to a knowledge-based economy is really has impetus through these agreements. And we are very confident and very encouraged, particularly by the comments.
The collaboration between Cisco and the Ministry of Communication, Knowledge and Technology will also offer young people the necessary skills and knowledge for job creation. Amgalamula Tleribi TV News, Gaborone.
The Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Trade and Industry, Ms. Ellen Richard Madisa, says government intends to ensure that local products and services are competitive on the global market, which calls for greater vigilance and quality assurance. She said this will go a long way in ensuring that local entrepreneurs penetrate global markets.
In today's global economy, maintaining high-quality standards is crucial to Botswana to remain competitive in the global market. Botswana, like many other countries, has recognized the importance of quality driving the economy and development, hence the enactment of the National Quality Policy last year.
The national policy expresses our ideals in quality implementation, including setting the quality infrastructure and implementation of technical regulations, which are critical to production of quality goods and services in accordance with international best practices so that our goods are internationally competitive. One cannot downplay the role played by high quality infrastructure. This is because it provides direct positive impact such as high efficiency, increased safety, decreased environmental impact, and more effective delivery of goods and services. As such, the government and the private sector have to work together to ensure that this infrastructure serves the purpose that we want to achieve. And I'm happy that all the quality managers are here, as we also need the technical people to ensure that quality policy is implemented efficiently.
In order for Botswana to build a resilient economy, there is a need to infuse standards that demand quality from businesses and different stakeholders.
For Botswana's competitiveness, re rela gore ha re dira dilo tsa quality Kana quality ke yone the cornerstones of competitiveness. Standardization, accreditation, and quality assurance are the critical ones, as well as measurement. So for us to achieve this, we need the quality managers to assist, because once they can assist with that, with the quality assurance and all related initiatives, Botswana will move in the right direction for being global competitive, be it Kiko industry or Kiko di organizations. Because
Botswana encouraged to demand quality from their service providers. Khorata Maranyani, BTV News, Gaborone.
Funeral arrangements for the ZCC's and Engena's bus crash victims in Limpopo, South Africa, are said to be on track in Malepolole. According to the Minister for State President, who is also the Member of Parliament for Malepolole South, Mr. Kabo Morai, everything is going according to plan and hope that all preparations will be completed by tomorrow. The burial service will be held on Saturday at the Malepolole Sport Complex, and Acting President, Mr. Slamba Tsohwane, is expected to be amongst the mourners.
Nyara khotsohala hore tla khona hore accommodate botlhe ba batlang ka hore hape ha re le hano ha stadium se ka sentseng ka teng ga re go dirisa manno a stadium hela re dirisa bogare ga stadium me ha re bo dirisa ana tante e tona e ka accommodate about 5,000 people e teng hano ha ya tsengwa ya dirisi ya erang go dirisa go tsweng ho le stadium ka bo para ba sone go tla bo go batho ba ntse ho le mo dithokong tsa stadium re tla bo re dira jalo go tlo gona le di screen go accommodate mo le mo so ka bokhutshwane dipaakanyo di tsweletse ha batho ba ng gonna teng mme batho ba ga rona ba tshwentse ba tlhaloganye so se le sengwe kopo a rona ke gore ba ileng gore ba tla kgona go tla kwano ba tla mo stadium ba tle ba itse re go simola ka 5 mo mosong re tla bo re simola ka 5 mo mosong mme ba bangwe ba itse gore re tla bo re covera phitlhotse ka television live motho ka kgona go e bona le ko lapeng re tla bo re covera mo maranyaneng a rona Facebook re covera gape mo radio ya re tloetsa ba ga rona gore ga se rotlhe re tlamegang go tla kwano ka gore mosuke o ka nna motona that's why re tsere tshwetsa gore cover we live mme a ka ne re kopile mo nakong e hitileng ne re kopile ba ga rona bogolang ba kwena mo molepolo le gore ba re nang le diphitlho tse ne re di rulaganyeditse gore re go hitla ka Saterdag kopo ya rona re ikobeditse mo go bone ke gore ba hapanya matsatsi ba se ka ba boloka ka Saterdag ka gore le bone batho ba o kana ke ba ga rona re eletsa go ba hitla re eletsa go ba boloka kopo ya rona mo go bonela gore ba harologanya matsatsi ba bang ba hitle ka la botlhano ba bang ba hitle Sondag gore tsatsi lena la Saterdag rotlhe re le ba kwena re bo re tlhomile matlho se ko mabitleng mme bo le mo televisioneng ya gago kgotsa le mo radioong ya gago lo wena o tseneletse phitlho e ka re ke phitlho e ramang rotlhe re le ba kwena re le Batswana ka bophara ba lehatshe la rona.
Workers have been implored to remain resolute in the belief that even though government will not always agree to all their demands during negotiations, there will come a point where some of these demands will be met. These were sentiments echoed by various speakers at the Khanzi May Day edition yesterday. Workers were also reminded to reduce complacency as they have a role to play in ensuring their rights are not overlooked. On other issues, workers were advised to refrain against the dual membership of various workers' unions as this could prove detrimental during negotiations with government, as numbers are a determining factor when making decisions and meeting worker demands.
Recent developments where the Employment Act and the Public Service Act dibakang robana go tsentswe maternity leave we long gore re ntse re tsile 6 weeks umpieno o dirilwe 8 weeks robana jaanong ebile go na le paternity leave ga batho ba dirile tse di molemo jalo go dumalane di sentse go lemoga ebile di lemoga ile maiteko a eleng gore a bona phatlha le dikhandingwe tse di tla tlang gape le ga rona
letsatsi le tshwanetse le re tsosolose ba kaoleng We are at a time that we have contributed to the social, economic, and political landscapes of our country. We do the spade work. We are producers of the economy of our country. Yet, today, we have to again ask ourselves, are we beneficiaries of our hard work?
Paternity leave remains an unresolved issue in local labor relations, as such unions are advocating for fathers to be granted paid paternity leave. This was the central of May Day commemorations in Kasane yesterday, as trade unions exist to protect and further the interest of their members by negotiating the working conditions. The matter of paternity leave has become topical in local labor relations.
Maternity leaving. Wa tswa mo tirong ba gaetso ha bua go maternity leaving wa apply go boela mo tirong bontsi jalo na gali jagere e do go ntse yalo bo mme ne le sena tshwanelo ya go ya maternity leaving ya no gompieno botsetsi re lwantshana le botsetsi gore re bo pataganne le ha mo go teng paternity leave jagere re lwela paternity leave.
We apologize for that. And moving on, in Maun Council, Kata Joseph of Lumbile Legal Practice has urged all workers' union to work together in making sure that minimum wages set by government applies to all economic sectors. Council Joseph said this during the May Day commemoration in Maun. Council Joseph said the spirit of partnership and working towards maintaining good relations and having a collective bargaining council will help in fostering the country's vision of being a high-income economy, adding that this can be easily achieved when no one is earning below the minimum wage.
Result re taloganya thata gore ha re kopane rote re bua go sa kgathalese gore mang ke mang ebile mang ke eng rutwa la thata go gaisa ha re harologane re bua mongwe le mongwe a eme ho ke dumela thata gore bontsi ba rona ba re leha ke sa gore ke nyatsa ope rutwa ga ditsebe tsotlhe ke ne ke re akanya gore o kane rothe re dumalana re sokola rothe re tswa kgakala rothe re duela mo pateng mongwe hela ebe rothe re bua mme re sa dumalane gore go tare dua ma ke a le kopa wa ka o lengwe ka re nya to batho ke le se buisa lona go mpene ka re kopa ka re nya mme a re ne mmogo rutwane kopana makaulingwe buang ka lentso le lengwe la gore re a kopa mohiri ge a ko buse re kgone go ipuela re kgone go dumalana gore nya re bata se kana re bata ha le re ga pala bogolo re kopane mo tseleng gona le gore re la ya re tole re le dila ya la re ba bereki go sna o por kopantsha mo tseleng.
You're watching BTV News. Thank you for staying with us. Now, moving on, Palapi police are investigating an incident in which a 33-year-old woman and a 3-year-old kid were found dead at Sepa Lamoriri ward in Radisele. Speaking to BOTSWANA Television, Assistant Superintendent Holetwa Kitamile of Palapi Police said investigations are ongoing and suspects are yet to be arrested. Love Mo Mario and Koketso Ramonso.
Residents of Sepa Lamoriri ward in Radisele were shocked following an incident where a 33-year-old woman and her 3-year-old kid were found dead at their house in Radisele. Police confirmed the incident, saying they suspect that the two were stabbed with a sharp object and have not made any arrest yet.
Basupa irile maphakele ngana 27 maagisanye mongwana ya kola pela teng aya go thola ba maagisanye ka ene me ga tsena kwa ga kokota ga ska ga nna le o buang me aya go tsosa rragwe ga sena go tsosa rragwe mmotsa gore o kae aba a supa gore a mothole montu ga tsena montung o kopantshiwa ke madi hatsi gore mo bedroom ya gagwe e leng gore go supagala gore mme yo o latlhegetswe ke botshelo ka go nana le dintho le ngwana le seala dikgwedi tsa ngwaga tse 3 mme yo ene o dingwaga di 33 ke batho ba kgota ya sepalamoriri gone ko ra disele.
Still in Palape, the police are also investigating a case where a 50-year-old man was found hanging on a tree. The police say the deceased was on bail on rape charges to an 18-year-old girl.
Extension 1 ba ba ithela reo a khaga mo stareng sa mogonono go le ga itsetse botshelo ka mogala wa cable mme reo rayo go mo itse ga gape ne re ka di 29 yana tsa kgwedi ne ya bo 4 ya re tswa mo go yone ona a tswa mo go tshegediweng ke mapodisi ba rona ba Central Police na pa mo tshegeditse bone mo diseleng tsa rona mo ka dipelaelo tsa khanyaga tsa go itseela dikobo ka dikgoka mo ngwaneng wa dingwaga tse 18 years.
The police in Palape expressed the concern over increasing suicidal cases in their district. Lovemo Mario, BTV News, Palape.
Horticulture farmers have been implored to make use of cropping plants in order to have uninterrupted production cycles and harvest all year round. This was said by Mr. Ofense Ramakoloi, Membership Management Officer for Business Botswana. Business Botswana, in collaboration with Botswana Horticulture Council, conducted a 3-day workshop in Charles Hill to interact with horticulture farmers in the area and assess the production capabilities as well as the challenges they encounter. Angela Nosa with the details.
Ever since the ban on importation of horticultural produce was introduced, farmers in the country have proven they are more than capable of feeding the nation, production having shot up to over 70%. However, these farmers are being implored to fine-tune their farming methods to ensure continuous harvests and an uninterrupted production cycle.
Ka re ba go bantse ba akanya gore ba phadisanya e ba ganana ka information ene go ganana ka information go ne wa gore market o ka tswa o batleng o sa batleng go bo go tsisa yone tlhaelo e kana e ntseng re bona. So cropping plan ke yone tharabololo ka gore ya ka gore ha re le balemi ba kgaolo ye tse re di lemang ketse re solohetse gore re ka jesa ba jibareki go tsena mo lebakeng le le kana gone hala ha re bona go nna le tlhaelo teng go tshwantse gore go nne le ba bang ba ileng gore ba ne sa le balemi.
Working together as a collective is seen as the answer to addressing the challenges horticultural farmers encounter.
Maraka wa rona is so uncoordinated that we are taken advantage of. Gora gore re ano re batla go dira gore balemi ba itse gore go lema ba le banyenyane ba le mmogo e hela ile modimi o moto le ha re ka tswa rena le dithuso tse re di bona gongwe re sampane re tritiwa hela ya ka makalana ote me kana we are a special sector in the sense that ga o setse o lemile sejalo ga se tshwantse gore setswe se tshwantse gore setswe gore ga gona gore o ka se ba wa re nya ke ta emela pele gore go to go siame.
Farmers are implored to treat this as a business.
Temo re le mmogo ne re tshwanela ke go etsa jaaka kgwebo e skara le mahela go le Setswana hela re tse gore temo ke kgwebo e tshwantse ya re tshetsa ra tshetsa bana ba rona ka yone ra je sala ha tshela rona ka yone mme gore re kgone ke gore e be re dira ka ditsela tse di tshwanetseng.
Merogo go ya ka nna ke yone tema ya gompieno ga ke bone sepe se ga isantema merogo gompieno hela ga ke bua sentle ha o dira sentle hela ka go tshwanetseng ka teng supa yana le dipoelo le tse di seng kana ka sepe mathata hela e sa di santse dipoelo ke gore hela e bona le diphoso tse o di dirang e be go tlhokala gore o ipaakanye hela o tsene mo tseleng.
The horticulture import ban is praised by the farmers.
Golo ne re le masup o le ma anyansenyana o le ma carrot nyana biturutinyana gore ga go sa rekiwa carrot go rekiwe onions ga go sa rekiwa onions go rekiwe tamati me gampieno o a thapolola hela tshima ya go di 2 hectares o gona go le ma bituruti e be tsena mo marakeng e be rekiwa gore ya ka re bua hela go sampane gona le phosego hela ya gore gona ha ditwatweng ha ke gona ba sampane ba re tshwara 1-1 be ba dirisa bo 1-1 ja rona gore ba go nela price e sele o le ba mo nele sele so that bone makapo wa bona o na ntse o le montsi
timela gore palo tse re tla di bona dintsi di hokotsa go itšha re tsena go lahatsing le leng gore ra ijesa re be re boa gape re kgona go romela go mebarekeng ye kontle ka go ne mono mogolo wa go tswala di borderat.
Popular crops in the Charles Hill area include spinach, rape, tomatoes and cabbage, but sites are being set on expanding to plant even more, such as garlic, once experts have been consulted. Angela Nusa, BTV News, Charles Hill.
As a way of promoting and celebrating Waiei culture, Kamanakau Association held a cultural night to showcase their culture through song and dance on Saturday night in Gumare. Kamanakau Treasurer Ms. Flora Malau says events like Waiei Cultural Night serve multiple purposes, including the celebration and preservation of diverse cultural traditions. Taini Sukudu was there.
Being culturally aware allows people to acknowledge their worldviews and heritage and get a better understanding of the differences in the customs and beliefs of others. With Kamanakau Association, their cultural night was to equip people with the Waiei culture through different songs and dances.
First of all, entertainment.
The importance of hosting a cultural night is for entertainment purposes, and secondly, we take our culture to the youth and the community to learn at an early age. We try to sell our culture not only in Botswana but also abroad. These are Waiei groups. We are Waiei children. We are promoting Waiei dances by showcasing it to people. Seperu is Waiei dance, which we dance when we are celebrating our harvest. Kamanakau Cultural Night is said to be growing not only in numbers and quality of event, but also in the number of visitors who, some from Namibia, says they share the same cultural values and beliefs.
And the Waiei from Botswana, we are just from the same stem, originated from Sudan, Congo, Uganda, but from Central Africa.
Cultural night included performances from different traditional groups such as Nina Mwere, Tipatizani, among others, which showcased the Seperu and Karakara dance. Tainu Chukudu, BTV News, Gumare.
The Glies Awards Director, Mr. Nkopola Ntlamelang, says the creative industry has a lot of potential that has not been tapped nor appreciated, hence the inception of the Glies Awards ceremony to recognize creatives. This was noted at the nominee launch of the 3rd annual Glies Awards in Gaborone. Horata Maranyane reports.
According to a study by the Botswana National Commission for UNESCO, creative industries contribute approximately 3% of the Botswana's gross domestic product, which indicates that there's room for economic impact by the creative sector. As a result, the director of Glies Awards said that it is important to appreciate and grow the creative sector.
The essence of this project is just simple. Of course, it's very challenging. But the bottom line is we have realized a potential and one sector that has gone untapped, that has been celebrated without even a proper functional structure. I think the difference between what has been happening and over the past 3 years, if I may just single it out that way, they have never been recognized in a proper structure like this one. So initially what we wanted to do was Santla, rubber packaging, rubber tise ko di sponsoring, rubber tise ko the corporate world, rubber tise ko Botswana, let alone the misconception ya gore ga gona di celebrities mo Botswana.
The creative economy is one of the world's fastest growing sectors, which create employment and income, promoting innovation and contributes to society's well-being.
We want to cultivate that spirit of creativity and spark mindset change. So the Glies Awards celebrate excellence in Botswana, showcasing local talent and creativity. But the individuals and organizations that excel in their respective fields. The Gliss Awards inspire others to pursue their passions and strive for excellence.
About 200 nominees were announced yesterday for the 3rd annual Gliss Awards. Khorata Moranyani, BTV News, Gaborone.
Well, that is the news this hour. To stay with us, Jose Khonkwe on standby to take you through the world of sport. We meet again, Jose. It's your time. Take it over.
Oh yes, we meet again, Samuka, and let me thank you and greetings to you all. As he has already mentioned, I'm Jose Khonkwe bringing to you BOTSWANA Tonight sports news, and with that, let's get straight into it. Following Mushudi Center Chiefs' a formal complaint challenging the decision by the First Division South League Committee to dock them 4 points for failure to remit their previous home games, the Botswana Premier League CEO Bernard Mamelodi has confirmed that they have received the complaint and are looking into it. Katlego Kakule has more details.
Mamelodi went on to say that they will give the case the seriousness it deserves so that in the end they come up with a solution that will be fair to both parties.
Yes, it is indeed correct that the matter between First Division South League Committee and Muchudi Center Chiefs Football Club has indeed been referred to us for resolution. I'm currently applying my mind to the issue, and in due course we shall release a statement that will be able to outline the way forward.
The First Division South League Committee and Muchudi Center Chiefs have been at loggerheads for a long time, and a resolution from the Premier League office will go a long way to bring tranquility to the highly competitive First Division League.
We are going to engage them. We are going to engage the legal people by BFA. Football is a sport. It is made to entertain and to make people happy, not to fight people or to do anything. So at the end of the day, football shall win.
It's only proper if ever you're going to make an appeal to whomever, it is only appropriate when you do copy those particular people so that they are aware you have taken such a decision. Up to date, has received any communication super appeal to BFL or BFA.
The hope is for local football governing body to resolve the matter before the end of the 2023-2024 campaign, which has 4 games remaining, so as to start the next season on a clean slate. Katlego Kakwele, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
The president of Botswana Badminton Association, Modisa Otsile Badubi, who recently attended the Badminton World Federation's annual general meeting in Chengdu, China, says one of the emphasized areas was to develop badminton across all continents, as it currently ranks amongst the top 5 most watched sports federations in the world. Tlamelo Munsusi has more.
Around 151 member affiliates approved some of the agendas brought forward by the leadership.
As the members, we approved kopo ya the leadership ya BWF hore ba form a now corporate wing, a corporate division e leng hore e tabe ba gantse le hore ba he ho se mo sepelo e leng hore re leka go attracta the resources mo motshamekong wa badminton. It's e leng hore those resources are then trickled down to the member associations, Botswana being one of them.
The Badminton World Federation also maintained its position to suspend National Badminton Federation of Russia following Russia's invasion of Ukraine.
It was being voted upon by all countries by way of secret ballot for obvious reasons, as I believe you can imagine. It was a very close call, very close vote. Le hatsela Russia le namelentse le segetse ha thoko mo go tsenyeng di player mo go nneng a member association of the BWF. When it comes to the basis ya batshameki gore batshameki ba ba tswang from Russia, they can enter BWF tournaments provided they enter them as independents, not representing the state of Russia.
Badubi also highlighted that they had a meeting with Azerbaijan Badminton Federation delegation together with FlexPro, a manufacturing company that deals with badminton equipment, to find ways to work together for the benefit of both parties in future. FlexPro has already donated equipment worth over $10,000 US. Tlamelo Muntsusi, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
And that is all that we had for you from Botswana Tonight Sports Desk. Until we meet you tomorrow, have a good night. Now let me bring it back to Ilibile to give you the headlines of tonight. Ilibile.
All right, thank you, Josego. Let's do this again tomorrow.
Oh yes, definitely.
All right, and before we wrap it up, let's take a reminder of our top stories. Botswana and the Bahamas will work in unison to resolve the similar challenges both countries face. Funeral preparations for victims of the ZCC St. Agnes bus crash in Limpopo, South Africa, progressing well. Botswana Football League investigates complaints by Muchudi Center Chiefs against the First Division South League Committee. And that is for this hour. To stay with us, what is up next?
Good evening and welcome to tonight's weather forecast brought to you by Elite Awati Khomo. Looking at the current satellite image, clear skies are visible over most parts of the country. Tomorrow, expecting clear skies over most parts of the country except Chobe and southern central districts. We're expecting patches of clouds. In the morning, we're expecting warm temperatures over Ngamilan, Chobe and northern central districts ranging between 14 and 17 degrees Celsius. Also expecting mild temperatures between 8 and 13 degrees Celsius. In the afternoon, we're expecting hot temperatures over Ngamilan, Chobe and northern central ranging between 31 and 32 degrees Celsius. Also expecting warm temperatures between 28 and 30 degrees Celsius. Now the forecast for this weekend over southern southeast Gauteng and we're expecting clear skies on both Saturday and Sunday with warm temperatures in the afternoons. Gansi and Kalahari district we're expecting clear skies on both Saturday and Sunday with warm temperatures in the afternoons. Chobe and Ngamilan districts we're expecting clear skies on both Saturday and Sunday over Ngamilan, while over Chobe we're expecting patches of clouds on Saturday, while on Sunday we're expecting clear skies with hot temperatures in the afternoons. Central and northeast we're expecting partly cloudy conditions over northeast and southern central on Saturday, while on Sunday we're expecting clear skies. Over northern central we're expecting clear skies on both Saturday and Sunday with warm temperatures in the afternoons. And that's the weather forecast. Good night.